Assalamu alaikum and hi, welcome to my presentation with the title Tools Used by Biologists. These are the commonly seen and used tools or instruments in biology lab. This is prepared by Johari Dil Montod, myself, from the class of STEM 125. So now let us start. But before I start my presentation, let me introduce myself, let me talk about myself. So here is my profile. Assalamu alaikum and let me introduce myself. My name is Johari Lumontod and I graduated from Michus Aguirre Community High School. I was born in Iligan City but currently living here in Marawi City. There's really nothing special about my life that I could tell, but let me talk about the trivial things about myself. Just like an average student, I'm not an academically inclined kid who's so immersed in his studies. That's why sometimes I'm having a hard time to catch up with this new mode of learning, especially these online classes. Procrastination has been my thing since high school, but now it seems like I need to work on myself because I'm now a graduating student. That's all, and thank you for listening. So here are the tools that I searched from the internet and compiled it for this presentation. For the first tools, we have the beaker, Bunsen burner, microscope slide, graduated cylinder, scalpel, pipette, forceps, syringe, vacuum tube, petri dishes. For the first tool, we have the beaker. It is generally a cylindrical container with a flat bottom. Most also have a small spout or beak to aid pouring as shown in the picture. Beakers are available in a wide range of sizes from 1 milliliter up to several liters. A beaker is distinguished from a flask by having straight rather than sloping sides. Beakers are useful as a reaction container or to hold liquid or solid samples. They are also used to catch liquids from titrations and filtrates from filtering operations. Richard Condornerellos is credited with the invention of the beaker, but in reality, the beaker invented the beaker in 1846. There are also many types of beaker with specific uses. For instance, Phillips and Griffin beakers are for measuring, mixing, containment, and decanting. Platform beakers are for hot bath heating. Berzelius beakers are used for titration experiments and many more. For the second tool, we have the Bunsen burner. Named after Robert Bunsen, is a kind of gas burner used as a laboratory equipment. It produces a single open gas flame and used for heating, sterilization, and combustion. The gas can be a natural gas, which is mainly methane, or a liquefied petroleum gas such as propane, butane, or a mixture. Combustion temperature achieved depends in part on the adiabatic flame temperature of the chosen fuel mixture. It can be used to provide a single continuous flame by mixing gas with air in a controlled fashion. The ratio of gas to air that is mixed together can be manually adjusted, allowing the user to control the intensity, temperature, and the size of the flame. It ensures that the flame is stabilized by establishing a suitable flow field to produce the initial temperature rise. For the third tool, we have the microscope slide. It is a thin flat piece of glass, typically 75 by 26 millimeter, 3 by 1 inches, and about 1 millimeter thick, used to hold objects for examination under a microscope. Typically, the object is mounted or secured on the slide, and then both are inserted together in the microscope for viewing. This arrangement allows several slide-mounted objects to be quickly inserted and removed from the microscope, labeled, transported, and stored in appropriate slide cases or folders, etc. It is often used together with a cover slip or a covered glass, a smaller and thinner sheet of glass that is placed over the specimen. Slides are held in place on the microscope stage by slide clips, slide clamps, or a cross table, which is used to achieve precise remote movement of the slide upon the microscope stage. Next one is a graduated cylinder. It is a very common piece of laboratory equipment used to measure the volume of a liquid. It has a narrow cylindrical shape. Each marked line on the graduated cylinder represents the amount of liquid that has been measured. Albert Einstein invented the graduated cylinder. It's often used to measure the volume of a liquid and are generally more accurate and precise than laboratory flasks and beakers. But they should not be used to perform volumetric analysis. It's sometimes used to measure the volume of a solid indirectly by measuring the displacement of a liquid. The next tool is the pipettes. It is a laboratory tool commonly used in chemistry, biology, and medicine to transport a measured volume of liquid, often as a media dispenser. The first micropipette was patented in 1957 by Dr. Heinrich Schnitger in Marburg, Germany. It comes in several designs for various purposes with differing levels of accuracy and precision. Many pipette types work by creating a partial vacuum above the liquid holding chamber and selectively releasing this vacuum to draw up and dispense liquid. It is used to accurately measure and transfer a volume of liquid from one container to another. It is made from plastic or glass tubes and has a taper tip. The next tool is a scalpel. It's a small and extremely sharp-bladed instrument used for The next tool is a scalpel. It's a small and extremely sharp-bladed instrument used for surgery, anatomical dissection, podiatry, and various arts and crafts. The surgical scalpel as we know it today was invented by the Bard Parker Company and patented in 1915. Scalpels may be single-use, disposable, or usable. Scalpel blades are usually individually packed in sterile pouches but are also offered non-sterile. Double-edged scalpels are referred to as lancets. It is an essential dermatological tool used for making skin incisions, tissue dissections, and a variety of surgical approaches since the onset of modern surgery. Scalpel blades come in different sizes. Identify the blade number and each serving a different purpose. The next one is a forceps. It's a handheld hinged instrument used for grasping and holding objects. Forceps are used when fingers are too large to grasp small objects or when many objects need to be held at one time while the hands are used to perform a task. The obstetric forceps were invented by the eldest son of the Chamberlain family of surgeons. The term forceps is almost exclusively used in the fields of biology, and medicine. Outside biology and medicine, people usually refer to forceps as tweezers, tongs, pliers, or clips. It functions as an extension of the thumb and opposing fingers in the assisting hand to augment the instrument in the operating hand. Their primary purpose is to grasp, retract, or stabilize tissue or clamps. The next tool would be the syringe. It is a simple reciprocating pump consisting of a plunger, though in modern syringes it is actually a piston that fits tightly within a cylindrical tube called a barrel. Charles Prevost and Alexander Wood independently developed medical syringes with a needle fine enough to pierce the skin. Syringes are frequently used in a clinical medicine to administer injections, infuse intravenous therapy into the bloodstream, apply compounds such as glue or lubricant, and draw or measure liquids. It is basically used to inject fluid into or withdraw fluid from the body. A medical syringe consists of a needle attached to a hollow cylinder that is fitted with a sliding plunger. The downward movement of the plunger injects fluid, upward movement withdraws fluid. The next tool is a vacutainer tube, a sterile glass or plastic test tube with a colored rubber stopper creating a vacuum seal inside of the tube, facilitating the drawing of a predetermined volume of a liquid. Vacutainer tubes may contain additives designed to stabilize and preserve the specimen prior to analytical testing. Tubes are available with a safety engineered stopper with a variety of labeling options and draw volumes. The color of the top indicates the additives in the vial. Container tubes were invented by Joseph Kleiner and Beckton Dickinson in 1949. Most commonly used to draw the blood samples directly from the vein, blood blank test, and storage for blood sampling. The last but not the least is the Petri dishes. It is a shallow, transparent. Last but not the least, the Petri dishes. It is a shallow, transparent lidded dish that biologists use to hold growth medium in which cells can be cultured, originally cells of bacteria, fungi, and small mosses. The container is named after its inventor, German bacteriologist Julius Richard Petri. It is the most common type of culture plate and one of the most common items in biology laboratories and has entered popular culture. It is used to contain a thin layer of agar on which to grow bacteria and fungi, to culture different microorganisms and cells, to study microorganisms like bacteria and viruses under great observation. It is important to keep them isolated from other species or elements. Now that we are done with the tools used in biology, let us now talk about the biology lab or the biolab. It is a modern structure providing a broad range of biological and biochemical techniques with in-depth practical training with trained staff. Important work routine is on microbial and molecular analysis and biological sample preparation in general. And now that we are at the end of my presentation, I just wanted to say thank you. And this is purely based on my own research. I did my best to make it look interesting and entertaining. And I hope that you had a good time reading my output. Thank you.